fill me irie. Cause we not love life, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes.
It was 2014 I got involved with Talk Up Youth, so I sent them a Facebook message that I wanted to volunteer, and the producer for the radio show, Christina Monteith, she sent me a message that they need some volunteers to help give out some flyers and stuff like that. And I went, we were in the sun like 2 p.m. in some black t-shirts, and I went and I volunteered, and Empress Golin was impressed with the work, and she asked me if I want to be a part of the Talk Up Youth family, and from there on I've been on the TV show and the radio show as well. When you actually study production, and you really and truly need the connection in order to move forward in the field. It's not just having it on paper, and Talk Up Youth created that platform for myself and enough other youth. So the experience has been really great. I did a spoken word piece called Why, and that piece got viral on YouTube and social media, about 70,000 views.
Why you need experience to get a job, when really you need a job to get experience? The worst thing, you need 4 to 5 years worth of experience. Why?
I think Kevaughn has impacted my life to make my work worth something and my dreams and visions come alive. When we started another platform of giving young people a voice, we decided to start with a radio show where young people from different walks of life could come together, have a space where they could develop solutions and talk on air and advocate together and help each other and earn a little change together in a media space, which is what I do on radio. And I remember when Kevaughn was there at the very first radio program, I think it was an event we did, a launch in Halfway Tree, and he came and I was like, this young man is together. He came, he was doing the work, and I liked him, and then he came on the radio show to come, and I think at that time he was did a sports review or something like that on the radio show, and I was just watching his talent. I kind of have an eye for young people that have a talent, have a dream, and what I try to do is just to support them and lift them, whatever it is. If it's getting a job, Kevaughn has been paid jobs with us to do all kinds of different things, but for me it's a part of helping them to survive, because they're already leaders that I identify. And then he was on the radio, he would come, he would share his views, and then he wrote a poetic advocacy piece called Why.
Why when an 18-year-old leave high school with 8, 9 and 10 subjects, they need a degree to be employed, but they don't need a degree to vote?
In the piece I said I wanted to be the change I want to see in my country, so I decided to start a charity, and it initially started out as the Kevaughn Ellis Foundation, but at one point I felt like it was centered around me too much, so we changed the name to Inner City Development Youth Association, and the Inner City Development Youth Association, idea, because it's all started from an idea. And we have a couple of activities. For instance, Track and Streets, which is held on this road, is a back to school street sports day, and the kids compete for medals and trophies, and every single child who compete receive back to school materials, and the most outstanding receive back to school scholarship. Another activity that we have is the Inner City Quiz. So it's an Inner City Quiz competition for communities like Denham Town, Tivoli Gardens, Almond Town. So some of the most volatile communities. So they compete, and of course they get scholarship, they get prizes and stuff like that. So that's just two of the great things that we are doing in the community.
Whenever Kevaughn calls me to come into Almond Town to do something, I'm there. His Track on Streets, and I to watch young people in the community running to do a math quiz and run back. I'm like, look at that, using sports and education in an environment which the world would say is not conducive to learning, surrounded by crime, and watching him, and he's using his mind, his creativity, his talent, and his skill to bring young men. And I watch him, he brings young men.
Success don't come overnight. No matter no substance over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it for the life.
We're actually working on a mentoring program, trying to change the mindset of the people in the community, especially the parents, because the biggest problem is really the parents and not the kids.
Never tell you if you bust a shot and quench them. Instead we tell them that they gonna buy a yen yen.
You know, whenever you see a child develop a sense of selfishness and stuff like that, it's something that you learn, you don't born with it. So, you know, we're trying to change that mindset, because what I've realized is that ghetto is not a place, it's actually a mindset. So ghetto, you get out of the mindset, not out of the place, but the mindset. And once you can change the mindset of the people, then you'll have a better Allman town, you'll have a better Jamaica on the whole.
I know what we can offer him. The power of network is your net worth. And I can see where and how it is building, assisting his growth, and how it can assist further. And that's what I want to do with people like Kevaughn. I want to see us develop the people in the communities that are most affected by crime, poverty, single parent homes, sadness and depression. Let's be honest. I've walked every parish. I have walked every nook and cranny of this country. You know, it's depressing when you see people who have a dream and a talent and they can't get to the next stage because they don't have the resources. Resources are there, but the thing is, how do we put it in the right place? The communities are depressed from rural to city. Yeah, single parent homes, young men with dreams and vision. When I go into Metcalf and I'm sitting with our young boys who have been incarcerated and I'm serving in there, and I'm like, look at these young, beautiful young men. We have a terrible history of, you know what I'm saying, of poverty and depression, and not every parent can parent the right way. But I think when we see the leaders out there, we have to strengthen them, especially our young men, because they're the ones who are going to be the next set of fathers, and they're the ones who have the most influence sometimes on the young men in the communities and the young women.
We are 16 young people who come together, and probably the easiest way we get funding is out of our own pocket. So we show dues every 2 weeks. We have a meeting and we show dues just $100, and otherwise what we do is I ensure that every single shop on Lord Elgin Street help to fund stuff. So we, you know, whenever we are looking for funding, we try to break it down. So instead of we beg $1 million or 100,000, we just say give what you have, and you know, sometimes it's not just funding, but people bring a case of water, some liquid soap, or whatever it is. So, you know, that's how we really break down the funding.
I see him as a leader. When I sit in the community, I'm like, if only every young person could follow his lead, they'd be in a better space. I could probably put my life on it. Him nah bust no gun, but enough gun bust around him. And I can put my life on it that he is man enough to stand up and say, me nah go do that. Even though me sooner I do it, and me know say you, me I tell you need to be better men and you need to do this. And I think that's amazing. If more people could stand up among it and say, me know you do, but that's not what me I go do. And I'm going to try a different path, even though you could go that path. You know what I mean? And I think we need to strengthen those leaders, those who can. And my vision and what I'm seeing with him is that he's way beyond the normal. He's very powerful and he's very influential, but it's never going to work if we don't strengthen them, you understand? So there has to be capacity building from all of the social and groups out there, the groups that are out there that have the money to. We have to channel the funds in the right space. You can't just do this pretty gig and just this thing and say, oh, we've done it for sure, and it's all over the media that you did really good things for one day. It has to be sustainable, and sustainability means investment. It means years of commitment, because what he's doing with the young ones, if he can keep doing it and we keep supporting him, and if we answer his call when he comes, then you're going to see a different set of young people, you know, coming through.
The impact, really and truly, it is something that is going to take a while. So probably I'm not alive when the bigger impact is being take place. But in terms of the small impact, for instance, last year Inner City Quiz, a young man, Tyrell Atkins, who attended Almantown Primary, he was one of them who got a back to school scholarship from Inner City Quiz, and it helped his parents with back to school stuff, you know, and he was successful in his GSAT. September he'll be attending St. George's College, you know. So it's really stuff like that. It's not the majority, it's just about helping one or two persons. So the impact is not a big impact, but little and then, you know, it will grow. What we're trying to do with Track and Streets is make it not just for Allman Town itself, but for Central Kingston and the whole Western Kingston. Now, for instance, we have the champion girl this year travel all the way from Manchester. So it's not just about Allman Town, but the impact is we see it in sports. If you want to bring together a community, it's definitely sports. Not a back to school treat, not a party, it's definitely sport. Because what you find in sport is interaction. So if down the road and up the road and link and you have a little football competition and you find even a little bounce over on the field and you know you take him up and make him know say yo sorry because you give him a bad tackle, but you don't feel like oh you're less of a man if you tell a man sorry. You can actually sorry. So sport is what we use, and the Olympic game has proven that, the World Cup has proven that the crime rate even drop whenever you have these big events. So we know the power of sports. Sports bring together a community, and I personally don't see another way of doing it.
A lot of times when you see in the communities and say, boy, what them can do for we. And what I love about Kevaughn is that he is doing for himself. And he's not waiting on anybody. He's aggressive, he's hungry, and he's a young man with vision and talent.
Really and truly what the youths need, and I said it before, so the leader of the country, whichever political party it is, so they are the Minister of Job Creation, Economics, and Job Security, right? When you look at what people blame the leaders of the country for, job security, you're talking about crime, you're talking about police, right? People don't feel secure. If you talk about economics, people blame the leaders about money not growing and whatever. And then you talk about job creation, unemployment. The most important one is to create jobs, and that's the only way you can cut down crime, because once you create jobs, you find that it will actually grow the economy and you'll have less crime. So it builds the security. So really and truly what young people need in Allman Town and in every other community is jobs. If what I realize even on my road, if 15 are with up on the corner, if 5 start work, if 10 start work, the next 5 I go want to get some work also. Because we don't have nothing to sit down and talk about now. Friday evening, I see a man come in with him bag and him buy up him thing and him can spend him own money. You understand? So really and truly, if we can't create jobs, no matter who say them around the country, if you can't create jobs, you cannot better the country. So really and truly, what we need is jobs. And we know that you have people actually get job and them still want to rob and do stuff. But trust me, it's a minimal comparing to the amount who will be satisfied. You find that a youth, when him work and him know him have to get up by 5 tomorrow, him come home, him go sleep, him not have time for them on the corner and lock gun and do whatever it is.
I always say he's my mentee, and I love being around him. He's an advocate, and through Talk Up Youth, we're going to do everything we can. We're a very small agency trying to bring change, but you know, I've seen it. I've walked his community, been in his community, watched him in the community, been in the houses of the children of the community, and I think there's going to be big change and great change if we continue to support him.
Statistically, it is a violent community, but not for me. But I don't see it as a violent community when we have all of the ministries lined off. We have probably one of the best teachers college, Jamaica University. We have the CB chicken around here. We have juice factory, Ministry of Finance, Education, Ministry of all of these big places. It could never be a volatile community.
No, so every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. Don't make them know a substance over hype. Do it for